Hello Edgewood, my name is Patty O'Brien and this is Adrian Chavez, and we are citizens of Edgewood and wanted to reach out to everyone because I'm sure that you've seen what's going on with the ordinance that was passed last week. There is a petition that's going out in the mail that you will receive, and this is what it looks like. There's a petition on the inside where you can put your name and address and signature and send that back. And we're going to tell you exactly why this is so important for you to participate in and why we need your signature on this. Okay, the ordinance that pretends to deal with abortion but really is not going to change abortion at this level or the state level, and it brings on all kinds of problems for Edgewood from the state government because this ordinance is actually illegal and it is unenforceable by the town of Edgewood. It makes it so that the only way that this ordinance can be completed is by having citizens sue each other.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that for myself, one of the reasons why I got involved was immediately after the commission meeting that night. I was extremely disappointed, and the reason I was disappointed was because, one, we had fought so hard over the last few years to get a new form of government in this community to avoid situations like this where you have a hostile group of individuals pretty much taking over the commission and ransacking or pushing agendas that weren't really functional for our community. Our community is in desperate need of roads, and we need to have people focused on that. Not so much, in my opinion, doing things just to get their name on a tabloid or a newspaper or what today we would call Facebook or whatever, Instagram. But it's frustrating to me to see that the potential for us to lose money through this endeavor is just overwhelming. They were notified on several occasions. I don't know if you watched the meeting or if you were at the meeting, but they were notified on several occasions that this is going to cost the city money. We're going to have to fight lawsuits. And it's almost like they shrugged it off, and it seemed to me like there was a serious intent that night to get it done. I don't know if you felt the same way too. I watched it on the Zoom link, and I noticed that there was a large section of people that came up and talked that weren't from Edgewood. They were from out of town. And I was like, I didn't expect that, to be honest with you. That kind of threw me for a loop. But it frustrated me because then I started thinking, well, what is this agenda about and who's it for? It's not for Edgewood at this point. They're really not discussing Edgewood. They're talking about an anti-abortion ban ordinance that they wanted to pass. And it was very clear that night that Commissioner Brennan, Mayor Audrey Jaramillo, and Mr. Sterling Donner wanted this to pass that night. It seemed like it was a circus to me. It was a circus type atmosphere. So I was very frustrated with that. And just knowing the simple legalities that House Bill 7 is going to supersede anything that they've created as an ordinance is a problem. So who's going to end up paying that bill?
Well, we will. And, it was sad because the commissioners have done such a good job since they went into office to really do things for Edgewood that made things better. And it seemed like those three commissioners were dead set on passing it that night because of the urgency of the crowd and the mob mentality that came in. And it was about stopping abortion, which this ordinance doesn't do.
Right.
So this ordinance doesn't help either side of the issue. It is irrelevant.
And it creates more conflict.
And it creates conflict, and it puts a target on our back. Mm-hmm. So the whole point of trying to get this petition out is to put the vote back into the hands of the people of Edgewood, because there are people who will want it to pass and people who won't. But the whole point of the commission is to have a voice of the people through 5 people. But not that 5 people should vote on something that's contentious, but hand it back to the people. And the only way to do that is to have people sign this petition and send it in quickly, because we only have till the 23rd to get these signatures back. And once that happens, it can be repealed and it can be put up for a referendum so that people in this town can have their voice heard, which I think is the most important part of this entire endeavor.
Right, and I agree with you, and I think Commissioner Powers who we have a video of, made a very strong point during the course of that meeting of how he felt we should proceed with that.
Yes.
When I proposed that the town of Edgewood change its form of government to commission manager, the reason was that people in under the last administration felt like they didn't have a voice in their government. And commission manager is much more representative form of government. It gives the people lots of power to be able to do different things. It also gives everyone a greater voice. The last administration had actually cut off any public comment at meetings, removed it from the agenda items. So we couldn't even speak at meetings. We promised that. Every one of us ran on a platform of openness and transparency. People turned out in droves to vote for this form of government because they were promised a greater voice. There is no greater voice than a vote, your vote. That's the reason I put this on the agenda, is there is no greater voice than your own vote. And if we are going to deliver on the promise that we all made to make this government policies a reflection of the will of the people, then I think in something this important, something this controversial and heated, I believe that it would be best to put it up to a vote of the people. And that's my motion.
And it was voted down by 3 of them, obviously. So
Yeah.
it was unfortunate, because if it had been given to the people in the first place, we wouldn't be in this predicament where we are fighting against the state, against something that we've put in place that is illegal. So it's up to us to make a change. If you can send it in, sign it, send it in, and get it to us on time, we can make a change for this.
And I think that's one of the beauties of the new form of government that we have now, is it gives us as citizens the right to redress and to petition our local officials if we don't agree with them.
Right.
And I think that's that was one of the biggest takeaways that I got when we got the new form of government. I'm very happy that we have this opportunity.
Because this is not something that can pass. It's illegal. We're going to get sued. And all the money that we could be putting forth for things for Edgewood to make this an even better place to live,
Right.
is going to be used to fight. So our taxes will go up. And, I don't know about you, but I already pay enough taxes. And take away all of that money has really nothing to do with it. It's really about having the ability to make the choice as a citizen of Edgewood on something that is a national issue,
Right.
that shouldn't have ever been brought down to our level. And there's no way that it should go through and be enforced without us having a say.
Yeah.
I think we need to let everyone know this is what you're going to receive in the mail. And it has a petition inside. If you could please just put your name and address on there and sign it and send it back to the address in the folder. There will also be information on the bottom of the screen that you can send it back to, so that you know exactly how and where to get it.